What's your favorite Tetru achievement name? Interesting. Okay. It would be either Swampwater. The artists are all ones I like. And Trained Professionals is also pretty good. I think the flavor text on Trained Professionals sucks though. Originally it was gonna be like a quote that just says, leave it to us or something like that, right? But I couldn't find a way to make it work. And I also wanted to have some in-universe like trained professional service where you'd hire them and it's like fucking Men in Black or some shit, but it would require too much world building out for like a small achievement. So maybe at some point in the future this will get reworked and it'll be like more lore relevant, but for now it's just ambiguously Trained Professionals. Prepare for trouble, make it double. Yeah, what about the flavor text? Oh, flavor text is an interesting one. Okay, I have a very, very clear favorite, but there's quite a few good ones. There's quite a few good ones, and there's a lot of bad ones as well. For my absolute favorite, it is 20 TSD. The ancient tradition of 6 pieces, all placed to serve the needs of 1. This is like, I cooked the hardest. I don't think I'll cook again this hard. So this came from, let me find it on Twitter. I made a bunch of different reworks to flavor text. So this is like a few of them, right? And it literally changed from spin to win to this one. I tried to make them like specifically themed when I did this, right? When I was writing these. And so, for example, with 20 TSD, it's like, okay, well now it's contextualized as an ancient tradition, right? It's 6 pieces all placed to serve the needs of 1, as in like you're stacking T-spins, and so the only clears that you're doing are T-spins, right? If you look at a lot of very ancient traditions and a lot of ancient things, like they are very like everyone serves 1 type of things, right? You think of fucking people serving a pharaoh, people serving a king, whatever. The theme is kind of around like ancient traditions and like the kind of all to serve 1. It tries to evoke that kind of theme. Death by 40 cuts was the one I remembered after a month of not checking achievements. Yeah, death by exactly 40 cuts. Dude, this I also cooked with, and it almost made me want to change the actual like context around it too, the achievement, because all the single lines is a shitty pop culture reference. It actually pisses me off. Like, I'm mad at my past self for doing this. You know what I mean? Like, Mr. Boardwide is also, but like it kind of gets the pass. All the single lines fucking sucks. Like, I hate this title so much. I want to change this to something cooler. I like Deadlock and Talentless flavor text. Dude, Deadlock is such a weird one for me. Because the thing is that, for Deadlock, it was originally called No Escape. And it had this, like, dead end sign, right? And it was like, there's truly no escape, or some bullshit like that, right? It eventually got changed to the name Deadlock. And then I eventually changed the flavor text to be themed around Floor 9. If you were to read the inspirations behind Quick Play 2.0, if we do this, like, your conscience goes on with the screams of those who came before. Turning back now has become impossible, but to go any further would be defying the heavens. This is one that I absolutely want to change the name and the icon for to more properly match that, right? Yeah, Talentless is also a good one. I definitely wanted to, like, tap into the whole, like, frustration at, like, just not having something unique to say or not having anything that makes you special, right? I'm glad that you guys like it, because I felt like there might have been a more elegant way of saying this. I noticed the flavor text and realized it was Garbo immediately. That's funny. There's a few that are lore related too. Like, this one is an actual quote from a in-lore person, so you'll see this person in the future. Pay attention, or for these flavor texts, pay attention to the ones that are in quotes, because when they're put in quotes, what it means is that I've actually written a character that has said it. So for example, like this, there is actually a character written that said this, right? Well, actually there's one exception, which is could you please stop dying? This actually wasn't said by anyone, so I broke my own rule here. But every single other one that's, wait. Oh, also Floor 10, wait, why is this in quotes? This should not be in quotes. Bro, I need to fix this. I'm gonna type this in my phone notes really quick. 1 second. Okay. That is not supposed to. But yeah, have I been here before? Yes, this is also an actual character that said that. So there's a lot of intention behind when there's quotes used and when there's not quotes used. Swamp Water Light having comes in 8 different flavors is so fun. Yeah, this is also one of my favorites. I think I cooked with this one too. Swamp Water being like an actual drink in the universe is also a very intended thing. I do want like small parts of the world, like Swamp Water is a real drink, and like other, not major, but like more minor parts of the world exist, right? Because I think those things make it fun, right? Yeah, we're releasing Swamp Water merch. You can buy Swamp Water. It comes in 8 different flavors. I can also talk about my least favorite, because I have a lot of them that I have very like strong opinions about. About just being shit. Don't reset, awful, terrible. Don't waste the eyepiece, pretty bad, not good. Let's see. I think embrace the unexpected. Actually, everything about Against All Odds is just bad. A display of power for those willing to bear its burden could be done a lot better. I think there's a lot cooler things with the Emperor theme that could be explored, right? Especially when it comes to like both emperors as like real emperors and like the tarot card, the Emperor, right? I had so much room and I like didn't do that much with it. I think a modern classic could be better. Times Were Different back then is kind of weak. An Angel's Intervention is also weak. There's a lot more lore opportunity behind those. 2 minutes of perfection and 2 minutes of imperfection. I kind of like the duality of it. It could be explored a little bit better. The Hermit's an interesting one, because I feel like, okay, so when the outside world fails you, trust the voice within the lighted path. I feel like this could be said a lot better. Like, I don't dislike the direction of it, but I just wish I could say it more elegantly, right? You know, actually, it's interesting. Okay, this is something I can talk about. Bro, I will not beat the weeb allegations with this story, okay? So, for Empty Box, the thing about Empty Box is that originally, so I knew that it was going to be like highest blitz score obtained without using hold, right? And so with these sorts of things, I try and categorize into like themes, right? So obviously, for example, I'll go over this done right first, right? So if we look at like the Magician Tarot, like let's say just the Wikipedia page, the Magician has a lot of like themes of sort of connecting 2 worlds, manifesting, like turning thoughts into action, like spirit into reality, all those kinds of things, right? Like it's a bridge sort of thing. So I figure that like inspiration, art, those kinds of things would be a good theme to put around them. So everything that involves Allspin, except for Swamp Water, right, involves some kind of theme around art or turning like creativity or thoughts or inspiration into reality. In general, I try and theme and group them together. When it came to making Empty Box, I had 1 blitz achievement, right? Which was Wabi Sabi. So I thought like, okay, well, what can I build my theme off of here? Maybe I can do like different like Japanese things, right? Again, not beating the weeb allegations. So I was thinking and I was like, wait, I'm a genius. I'm gonna call it karate. Okay, think about it, right? It's like karate, like empty hand. I'm a fucking genius. So it turns out like absolutely no one fucking gets it. And I just look like a schizo naming it that. I'm like, hey guys, look, my achievement's called karate. So eventually I'm like, okay, you know what? This does not work. I have to give it up. So instead of the Japanese through line, right? I decided to shift over to like just general aesthetic concepts with like Wabi Sabi, right? It's like a kind of aesthetic ideal almost, right? And in a similar way, like minimalism is a different take on like both perfection and both like something that's like aesthetically almost perfect, right? I do think the result ended up a lot better, but man, my first idea, I was trying to make that work so badly, man. I don't think people knew what Wabi Sabi meant either. It's well known enough that like if you search it up, you'll be able to find the answer, right? If you search up Wabi Sabi, like you'll see, it's like, oh, imperfection, that makes sense. It's funny how originally, and I kind of hate this now, but originally for Sprint, it was pop culture references. So that's why we have Mr. Boardwide in all the single lines. Now I think it's the most cringe shit ever, now that I've like done some world building, but fucking you live and learn. Now we just have shitty pop culture references. Honestly, pop culture references would be so good if it was like JoJo. I mean, I guess true, right? If they were like older pop culture references, because I feel like there's a certain length of time where you have to wait before a pop culture reference becomes cool. You know what I mean? For example, if I make like a Skibbity toilet reference, like it's gonna be cringe. But if I made a Skibbity toilet reference, like maybe 100 years from now, like it's kind of based. You know what I mean? Or like 50 years from now. I hope Skibidi is... I don't even know what the fuck Skibidi toilet is, I'm not gonna lie. I know what it looks like, but I don't know shit about it. I'm sticking to my corner of Gen Z.